All right, so the last part of this lecture will be an example. Like I said, each lecture will be kind of a practical skill, a method, a skill, something you learn that will help you in your writing and your communication. And then we'll look at an example that illustrates it. This lecture is a little bit longer because we had that introduction to the course for the first part of it. So we're going to look at two examples. One that's a really good job of using rhetoric, and then one that's not that great of a job of using rhetoric. They're both commercials, because commercials are short, easy to analyze, just as kind of examples to illustrate this skill of rhetorical sensitivity. The first one is the Sweat It to Get It commercial series. My favorite is one where this guy goes into a 7-Eleven to buy some Gatorade, and he's not an athletic guy, as you can tell by the picture. The guy at the counter working at the store is a little more fit. He clearly works out. This guy's buying chips as well as Gatorade, so you get the idea. The guy at the counter tells him you can't buy these. And he says, why not? He says, you have to sweat it to get it. And the guy is kind of mad. And he says, the worker says, it's not my policy, it's his. And then Cam Newton, the star NFL quarterback, comes in, and the guy's all excited, I'm seeing this celebrity. And then Cam Newton just swats the Gatorades out of his hand, so it's really funny. That's the commercial. YouTube it if you haven't seen it. Here's what we call rhetorical analysis. I'm now going to analyze this commercial and explain how it uses rhetoric effectively. So the purpose is to sell Gatorade. The audience is obviously athletes, but it could be anyone really. If you're selling a product, of course you want athletes to buy it, but you own a company, you want as many people as possible to buy it. How does the ad use the rhetorical appeals? Ethos, you have Cam Newton, he's an athlete, he's a recognizable figure. The product's based around working out, he's a star athlete. That's a very credible source for a product that's based around working out. Pathos, what's the emotions involved? Humor, it makes you laugh. It's really funny when he swats the Gatorade out of this guy's hands. And that creates a memorable moment. You're in the store, you're trying to decide to buy Gatorade or Powerade. You look at the Gatorade, you see the Powerade, you don't remember anything about Powerade, but you see Gatorade, you think, Cam Newton, that was funny, I'm buying that one. Kairos, they're using Cam Newton. He just won MVP a couple years ago. He's famous now. It's not Doug Flutie, or someone from the 90s. But here we'll get to the real success of this commercial, why it's effective. The message is sweat it to get it. Why is that effective? What's the logic behind that? It makes it sound like only certain people can buy a product. Why would someone create an ad where it says this is only for certain people, other people can't have it? Pause the lecture, think about that for a minute. What I'd say is this: even if you don't work out, even if you're not in this elite group that can buy this product according to Gatorade and Cam Newton, doesn't that make you want it? People want what they can't have. People want what they're told they can't have. If you tell someone they can't do something, they go out and do it usually. So by saying sweat it to get it, that's going to make all people, not just athletes, want Gatorade. And so there's an element of ethos there. It's a select group of which people want to be a part. And then there's some logic. Gatorade replaces the electrolytes you lose when you sweat. So it's a pretty effective ad for all these reasons, and I think it effectively markets Gatorade. These fundamental concepts apply in any situation, not just commercials, not just Gatorade commercials. So in any situation, you want to rhetorically analyze the purpose and the audience to understand what kind of text you want to create. But the writers of the ad looked at the situation and decided to create this commercial, this text with Cam Newton, and I love to hear what you think, but I think it's pretty effective. Now we're going to look at an example of ineffective communication. So you've probably all heard of or seen the Sarah McLachlan commercial with the sad puppies. It plays her really sad, sappy, in the arms of an angel song, and it shows all these pictures of three-legged puppies, other wounded puppies. And the fact that there's this meme here, and if you Google this commercial as I did to find a meme, to find an image for a PowerPoint, you'll see lots of memes. And this commercial has really been made fun of. And so we might be able to find some ways in which it's effective, but the way it's been kind of culturally made fun of, that you can find that very easily with a Google search, really shows why it's ineffective. People feel like their day has been ruined when they watch this ad. Let's talk about why. Her purpose is to convince people to donate to the organization that helps animals. The audience is obviously animal lovers, but again, because it's an ad, anyone really, right? Like, obviously animal lovers should donate or will donate, but if they can get more people to donate, that only helps their cause. How does Sarah McLachlan use the rhetorical appeals? Well, she's a singer, she's a celebrity. It's maybe not as direct a connection to the product as Cam Newton, but there's still that kind of celebrity recognition. Pathos, it makes people sad. I don't know if that's an effective appeal. We'll talk about that, but that's the way they try to use pathos here. The logical connection is pretty straightforward. The money will help the puppies if you donate money. But that's not at the center of the ad, and I think that's part of the problem. The Gatorade commercial has a very clever concept based on logos at the center of the ad. Kairos, this is maybe one of the stronger appeals here. It's a sense of urgency. These puppies are in trouble and they need your help. Here's why I deem it ineffective. It's too long. It's almost 2 minutes. It's too much sad music. It's too many sad puppies. It becomes overwhelming to the viewer, even animal lovers. I show this in class when I teach the same lesson in the face-to-face classroom, and it's often too overwhelming for students. I turn it off after about 10 seconds, even though it's 2 minutes long, because they're like, stop, and I don't want to see it either. I once had a student say that she worked at PetSmart and loves animals, and this ad actually made her not want to give money to the organization because she said it just made her too sad. She loved animals so much, she didn't want to see them this way. So I'm not saying it's not effective on some level. I mean, I really like animals. I have a puppy named Kenny that I love. I've other dogs in the past I've loved too. And we certainly want to give to this organization out of kind of the decency of our hearts. But in terms of creating a text to try to achieve this purpose, I think it's too overwhelming for the viewers. It gives them too much. It shows them something that they love in danger, which can be compelling, and it probably works for some people. But it's not going to reach a mass amount of people the way the other ad does. And so again, ads are just kind of a quick example to show you these skills in practice. The real takeaway here is not just these ads. Those are an example. The real takeaway is I want to look at my audience, think about my goal, figure out what to do to achieve my goal. These are some examples of how other people have done that. And that's what I'll say on this final slide. We can create change through our writing, through our communication, by mastering rhetorical sensitivity. We can create change on Facebook. We can create change in conversations. We can create change by writing papers in the classroom. It takes rhetorical sensitivity to do so in each of those very different situations. So I hope that's what you're able to do by the end of this class, and that's what we're going to start working on now. So thank you for being in the class with me. I really look forward to working with you.